Good morning, everyone. Today it's rainy a little bit. I think it's gonna start pouring soon, but the roses are at their best. So I wanted to do like a quick tour to just show you guys around because I feel like this is probably the time that all of my roses are in bloom, and it looks so beautiful. So here in the front, in a pot, we have Eglantyne from David Austin Roses. She is in the fourth year in my garden, and she did not like the spot I put her on, so I ended up moving her to this pot, and she's loving it. So pretty. She's one of the oldest David Austin, so I think she's a little bit more susceptible to black spot, but very pretty nonetheless. Gorgeous, gorgeous rose. This is like one of her newest blooms. So pretty. And then we have Earth Angel. Earth Angel is in bloom. Wait, I have to get it in a better spot for him. Look at Earth Angel. In full bloom, or almost in full bloom, I would say. He's right by my patio. Oh my God. Look at that rose. He is on his third year, and here I have two bushes that I ended up bending the canes a little bit because he does want to get a little tall, and this is my backyard, so I don't want them to be very tall. But look at that. Earth Angel just in its glory. He is stunning. He doesn't, I feel like he does not repeat very strongly, but I think he's now maturing, so we'll see how he does this year. And here is the star of my garden, White Eden. I'm clearly obsessed with this rose because she is doing so well. How pretty. From her little buttons to the biggest one, and she is just covered in blooms. It's like a mass. So she's one that I got her from an Etsy seller, and she came as a little band, and she's on her second year. So I'm very impressed with her. I'm definitely going to move her to a better spot so she can grow a little bit larger and just to her full potential. I think she deserves the prettiest blooms. Alright, so moving on to the back. We have, I'll move back a little, the Generous Gardener. The Generous Gardener is on his fourth year, a very vigorous grower and a very vigorous climber. Just like his name says, he is very generous. However, I wouldn't vote him as one of my favorite flowers because unfortunately he lasts very little on the vase or on the bush too. When the rose doesn't last very long on the bush, it will probably not last very long on the vase. And I really like cut flowers. I like cutting the roses. Obviously right now I was letting them grow so they can bloom out. But it has the strongest scent. It's very pretty. And it's a vigorous grower. It's very pretty. On the back, we have, on the back, no, not on the bottom, we have Desdemona. Desdemona is from David Austin too, on her third year. I think she's finally getting much better. She did not like this pot last year, That's what the thing with the roses, you know. Sometimes you have to play around, and they can be a little finicky, and you know they like to be spoiled, and I spoil mine. But sometimes you gotta move them around, and I feel like I do that a lot with my roses. So they are always getting moved if I feel like they need a better position, but also if they have potential, right? So yeah, so that was the generous gardener, almost in full bloom. Here we have the alnwick rose, which I believe is going to be my favorite for this year. The alnwick rose, she's just so different in her form, in her color. She's very pretty. I think David Austin exceeded himself when he did this one. Look at this. Lasts a really good amount on the bush or on the vase, and she's probably the most puny shaped rose I have. And I just really love her color. Her color is so pretty. It's not a light pink, it's like more of a salmon, a light pink. It's beautiful. This is a closed one. So pretty. Here on my raised garden bed, by the way, the reason why I have this raised garden bed is because when we redid the backyard, the soil here was so bad that one, we couldn't even dig to plant the roses, and then two, it just didn't drain. And if you know one thing about roses, you should know that they do not like spaces that don't drain. Actually, not a lot of plants do. So I ended up doing the raised garden beds. So here we have Abraham Darby, which it is looking really pretty. 30 in the garden. He's also another one that I'm going to move because when David Austin Roses says on his website that they're going to reach a certain and height and stuff, just think that if you're out in the U.S. and if it's hot in your area, they're probably going to be much bigger. So he has outgrown his space for sure. Not the most resistant rose, unfortunately. You can see here that I already had to come in and kind of take some of his foliage out because he does get black spot, and it's very early in the season for black spot. But look at that. Gigantic blooms, very fragrant and very pretty. I feel like I still would have this rose in my garden, even though he's not the healthiest. Here, I think it's the star of my garden. Swhitun. I believe that's how you say it. I don't know. A very vigorous grower, but not as vigorous as the generous gardener. Everything is petals everywhere. But look at this. He goes all the way and back. He is on this little structure here, and he is loving life. Oh, look at that. I mean, and he is a good rebloomer. He's on his third year, and he rebloomed a lot. And oh my God, so pretty, so full of petals, just incredible. I think today, because it's going to really start raining, I'm going to cut a lot of the roses, and I'm going to give some to my neighbors and just, make everyone happy and share the joy. But I wanted to share with you guys first because, I mean, seriously, it's so pretty. So if you're looking for a pink climber that just blooms beautifully, Swhitun for sure. All right, so here's one that wasn't blooming last time and is blooming now, and he is Moonlight in Paris. I bought this rose because it's one of the roses that Grace Rose Farm has and sells, and you know, if she sells, then you know it's going to be a good rose. And I have to be honest, she has not impressed me at all until this year maybe, but it's still very pretty and large and fragrant. Does get a little bit of disease, but her blooms are very large. So you have to see, like when people grow roses for cut flower, they're looking for certain specific things. For example, to have a very strong canes that they can cut. And she does have it, but I don't know. I feel like I need to move her to a better spot because she is, you know, in between roses here, and I definitely underestimated how much space they needed. Another one that is blooming and is so gorgeous is Bathsheba. I mean, Bathsheba. How pretty is she? Unfortunately, she did get attacked by something here that I had to cut her cane, so she didn't bloom as much as we wanted, blooming more on top here. But oh my gosh, Bathsheba is glorious. Excellent rose, a nice cut flower, and she's on more of the orange peach side. She does become a little bit more of a pink flower once she starts aging a little bit. But beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This one is the Albrighton Rambler, the only Rambler that I have. And oh my gosh, she's so petite and pretty. I gotta come in here. A very, very pretty and sweet rose. Tiny. You can see here that her buttons are very, very tiny, but beautiful. I'm really liking her. I usually like when the roses are like large, and I feel like I have a lot of those, so it's nice to give it a chance to the tiny ones too. And she looks beautiful. I like it. She's in her second year and doing really well for a second year rose. You also have to be patient with your roses because usually they'll take at least 3 to 4 years to mature. But yeah, very pretty. And here on the bottom, I have crocus rose. Just starting to bloom. And she looks good. And the last one on this side is Claire Austin. Claire Austin. I need to get her one of these, I forgot the name now, one of these arbors too, because she's a climber and she's gonna want to climb. And she's looking pretty good. I mean, nothing like Eden, but you know, you also don't want to have every single rose be a very strong rose. Sorry, my thing got stuck here. Okay. A very strong rose, but I would like for her to grow maybe as big as Albrighton Rambler or Bathsheba. I don't know. Very pretty. So that is for the backyard. Then let's take a look. Another look at Ombre Cruise, which is probably one of my favorites. And then let's go back there because one more rose is blooming that I wanted to show. Well, first here is the two standards, Mary Rose. They are still going very strong, especially this one. But I do need to come in here and start adding a little bit more. Because one, I don't like when the petals fall on the floor, and I have a lot already, and it's going to rain, so we're going to have more. Because they get dirty after a while, so it's just a pain. But Mary Rose, I feel like I already talked about her a lot last video. She is incredible, also one of my favorites. Not a good cut rose, but an incredible rose nonetheless. Pink, perfect. It's probably one of the strongest smells. It's like one that you are going to come in, and I just keep that happening because I hate the roses like this. But look at this, so many blooms, and she was the one that started blooming first. So just perfect. Smells great, produces a lot. Beautiful, beautiful rose. Just masses of bloom. Beautiful. Now, the only one that is still not blooming is Cinderella Fairy Tale. Let's pause here for a little coffee. All right. Now, the last one that I think it wasn't blooming on the last video, but it is blooming just beautifully. It's Stasia V, and I had forgotten her name, so now I remember and I take notes. Stasia V, I think it's one of the David Austin's new edition. I'm pretty sure she's one of the newest. And wow, look at her. Second year in my garden. She was actually in a pot last year. And sometimes I like to put the roses in a pot when I don't know where I'm going to put them, or just to give them when they are brand new. Because in a pot, you can't just care for them a little better, and you're more in control of the conditions. But then she grew very strongly, and I had to move her here, as opposed to Eglantyne, which is just loving her pot. She starts out as a deep pink, and then more light pink as she goes. Very, very pretty. See a big bloom right here. Oh, Stasia V. Another gray rose. I have not cut her in yet, so today maybe I'm going to cut some and see how she does in the vase. But look at how pretty. Very pretty. So Cinderella Fairy Tale, only one that is not blooming. And then the last one, oh gosh, I forgot her name now. But this is the rose that I'm going to remove from here. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to try to find her another place. But this is the second place that I have put her, and she still does not do well. What's her name? I really need to have tags on my roses because I don't remember all of them. Alright, and that was it for the backyard garden. Now I want to show you guys the front yard. So pretty. Let's take another look at Earth Angel, because I think he deserves his spotlight. My gosh. This is the perfect bloom right here. Perfect. Alright guys, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and then subscribe and like and whatever it is that YouTube likes. And I'm going to post the one from the front garden. Have a good day. Bye-bye.